Right, let's get this old girl on the bench, because today I'm hoping to get this Masport up and running as it should do. So let's shut the old doors. It is a little bit parky down here today. It's not too bad. It's about 10 degrees. So I'm going to get this on today because we want to get the clutch fitted on here. So let me get up on the bench and I'll come back to you in 2 seconds. Hello, I'm Micks Mowers, Mower Man, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing the clutch renewal on this Masport Olympic 400. It'll be the same for the 500s too. So if your cylinder is continually running, or your cylinder is not cutting in, it could be the centrifugal clutch that's gone inside here. That's easy for me to say. I've now managed to locate one, find one, purchase one, and today we're going to be fitting it. I have done a video previously to this one. If you put in Masport Olympic 400 Micks Mowers, it'll come up and you can see how to take it apart. In this video, I'll be showing you how to fit it. So sit back and relax, let's get down and dirty, and let's get this clutch fitted. Right, Masport now up on the bench. I've got to do a few jobs on this. I've got to move this chain around because this chain is actually on back to front. Not that it's life or death, but there is a little tiny split pin there, which I want to have on the outside rather than the inside, because it's going to catch that nut just as it is doing. So I've got to do that yet. That'll be a job a bit later on off camera, but no drama. So, old clutch. Here's the story behind it. So the old clutch here was... the springs had worn and the eyelets had gone as well, and this particular part of the clutch, if I can push that back in just loosely, that's how easy it was. It was the clutch, the spring just gone in by hand, and you shouldn't be able to do that. This one here is quite tight, this one here quite tight, this one here loosey-goosey, so it's too much play in there. So I've managed to buy a new clutch, and they said it was an upgrade kit. Now, I will say this was not cheap, guys. This was a little bit pricey. It came in at £70 plus a VAT. If you're VAT free, it came in at 70 odd quid, £80 with postage. So add your VAT on top of that, but just over £100 for that. So it is like for like. What I will say straight off the bat though, there seems to be more material on the old one than on the new one. Okay, that's what it seems to be. But it does seem to be very well built indeed. Now, the only thing that's different with this is you had to buy, it didn't give you a choice, you had to buy this part of the kit with it, which is your bell housing. Now, I'm not sure if, your clutch plate holder, I'm not sure if these are the same as this one that's on here, because I've already have one. They look to be very, very similar. I just want to check the differences, because I could just undo this one and then just slide the new one in with the bearing and what have you. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go for that clutch change, and I may just try and keep this retaining part as it is. So I just want to get a 10 mil on the back of here. I'm just going to loosen them off very, very quickly. 3 bolts, 3 washers. Like that. That then taps out. Like so. Get rid of the old clutch. And then we're just going to have a look at this for differences. Now, they are slightly different. Not a lot, but there is a slight difference between the two. So I'm going to go with a newer one. Methinks. I dare say if I looked at it pound for pound, there wouldn't be a lot of difference. So I'm going to pull the bearing out of this one. Now, if I remember rightly, I've already had that out once already. It didn't just like fall out, but it wasn't in there with any real force. I'm just literally going to put it. Yeah, it's come out. There you go. So there's my bearing. So I've got to just press that bearing into its new house. Just put a socket over top of that. Put it in a vise. Give it a good tap with a hammer if that's gone in. And then I can now put this one into there, boom, line up the 3 holes with the 3 10mm nuts and bolts I've got. Just start them off. Nice and simple. And I can just nick them up. What have we got on there? We've got little tiny, I'm missing a washer here, Mick. We've got a little tiny friction washer that goes on top. So it's a little friction washer, then the normal washer goes on that order. I've got my last one, so normal washer, friction washer, and a bolt. And we'll nick them up, just so it's got it and it ain't going nowhere. So just nick them up to begin with, and then give them an impact, just so they're on, because you don't want that coming off. No, I'm not hanging on that. That's only on setting number 2. That's not on there, Colossi type, but it ain't coming off. So that's our clutch fitted. So all we now got to do is fit this to the crankshaft, and we'll go from there. So let me get you repositioned. I'll be back to you in 2 shakes of a tail. Okay, so we're ready to rock and roll now. I'm looking quite forward to this because I've been looking to get this little Masport up and running properly for a little while now. It's been sort of not the vein of my life, but it's been a bit of love. So these 2 washers here, they go on the inside of the bell housing, and that's what holds that bearing in place. I'll keep my hands nice and clean, just whilst we're mucking about with this clutch. Don't want to introduce no dirt onto it. And then you've got a keyway here and a keyway groove here, and then you'll also have the bolt that goes down onto this and a grub screw. Okay, so all we're going to do is just push that engine out of the way slightly, and then just offer that onto the crankshaft. Now do 2 different types, so guys, so just be mindful. They do 2 different types, so do one for a Honda and one for a Briggs and Strap, okay, so just be mindful of that. With that in place, we can now put our locking bolt in, which is a little tiny 10mm bolt, and that actually goes on top of the crankshaft keyway itself. That's where that goes. So just slowly put that in, just nick it into place, and then on top of that, we should have a little tiny, if I haven't lost it, grub screw. I don't think I would have lost it. I know I put it all in a little tiny pot of many things, because I knew I'd be coming back to it. Now, what I am after is that little tiny Allen key. Here it is, and we've got to fit this grub screw into place as well. So we're going to nick that up first, that grub screw. That's got that. And then I want a 10mm spanner, or 3/8, what it was now, I think it's a 10. Yeah, little tiny 10mm. I've got a socket there, I do. I'll sort of do up that that locking bolt, so that ain't going nowhere. And then that way we're going to know that is not coming off that crankshaft. Okay, so now we can now gently slide the engine into its position, like so. Where's my holes? There we are. And then I've got 4 bolts to put in place. Now you may have to go back and undo your clutch, so your clutch is sitting further inside the bell house. You may have to adjust it, and that will just involve undoing that little grub screw, that bolt again, slide it forward, and then just attach it that way. So you may have to do that. So just get your holes lined up on your engine. That'd be the hardest thing of the whole job. But once you've got 1 or 2 in, I dare say number 3 and 4 will just fly in. So there's 2 to do, 2 around the front, 2 around the back. As I say, once you've got them started, they're flying. So let me get this 4 engine bolts bolted down, I'll come back to you as and when I've done that. Okay, so clutch is now fitted. All I had to do was do the 4 bolts. Now, people say, so I have heard people say about lining the engine up. The engine will only go where it will go. It's as simple as that, because of the holes on it. So because of the holes on the bolts, the bolt holes, it'll go where it goes. It's not adjustable. Once I had the clutch fitted inside the bell house, what I had to do then was just undo this one here and grab screw like a shed, loosen it, and then just push the clutch inside the bell house a little tiny bit. It was just a little bit proud. Do those 2 back up, and that was that. So happy with that. So now, all that's left to do is have a bit of a wipe up. We can have a chat whilst doing that, shall we? Just have a natter. Have a natter, because I want to make sure that, you know, this machine's clean, presentable, because it will be sold this spring. So I'm looking forward to selling it. So just looking over the machine, see if there's any grease points on it, anything like that. Which it doesn't seem to be. A good old-fashioned clean up. We can then push this cover down. That's got to then sit inside there somehow. There it goes. That's nice, and I believe they were these little tiny screw things. There was a washer there. That looks captive to me. So I want a Phillips screwdriver. Quite a decent Phillips would be nice. So I had one out the other day when I was using. I seem to be a bit short on Phillips screwdrivers. I think they're up in the house. That's what I think they is. So we've got 4 Phillips to do. So we get them screwed down. This is when you don't want any more bits, any more bits left over. You know when you take something apart and you look at the tray and you think, well, I've still got 2 washers left over. Where do they come from? So this is a problem when you have machines apart for a little while. That may not seem like a long time for you guys, but it's been quite a while since I've had this machine apart, waiting for the bits. Get it back up on the bench again. It has been a little while. I don't think I've forgotten anything yet. But we should soon find out when I've got all the rest of my bits and bobs together. Why don't I want to go in there and make us? That's it. So that goes into there. I've got, as I say, one more job to do. I want to move this chain around. That's one last job I want to do, because it's going to catch otherwise. And this sort of machine, because it's going to sell for quite good money, you don't want it coming back. You don't want to have the customer having no faith in you. So if you haven't done something, just be honest and say so. You know, but I tend to do most things that the machines require. If it requires it doing, I tend to find it's just easier just to do it. That way, your customer's got a bit of faith in you when it comes to the sale of a machine. You can ask a question. You can say with confidence, "Yes, I've done that." That's done. Yeah, you know. Otherwise, you'll just look like a bit of a fool. We've got this to put on, which is a little tiny guard that just holds. Covers up the dead man's switch. That goes on there like that. Now that had 2 little tiny silly screws from what I remember. Yeah. So the big test is, of course, is once we finish this, is when I start it up, does the cylinder stop when I shut the revs down? That's what I'm after. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, that's that. Now I've got that bolt left and that bolt left. That should be about right. So I'll come around this side here then, guys. Have a quick look round here. Okay, so around this side, I want a 13mm socket. and a ratchet would be good. I should do it by hand. I've got to loosen off this adjuster for the cylinder. Loosen him off. The chain's been well greased. Loosen him up a touch, just so that slides backwards and forwards. Like that. Now, over on this cylinder, the HT is taken off so I can spin it by hand. Around here somewhere, on this chain, there will be a link. Here it is. There's a link where you can actually remove part of the chain and shorten it. Around here there's another little pin that you can actually just remove the split pin behind here, if it'll let me. There it goes. Take that split pin out, and there's a little tiny pin here which will allow you to actually remove that part of the chain, and then the chain will then come off. So I'm just making a note of where everything's going before I do anything. And all I want to do, that goes around the back of that, over top of that. So I pull that chain out. Right, give me it. Why is it getting caught up there somewhere? On the back of that slider, there it goes. I just want to turn that chain around. That's all I want to do. With that chain now turned around, that will then allow me to have that pin go on the other side. Oh, telephone's ringing. Pin on the other side of the chain, so it's actually on this side, on the outside. Where's that? Oh. Right, so we can now lift that chain up down the bottom. I know you can't see a lot down here what I'm mucking about with, but I'm just pulling the chain up over the sprocket. That can go up there. Boom. Come on, baby chain. There it goes. Right, and then that can then go over top of that, underneath that adjuster, back over. So now I can now put that chain back together, but the pin will go from the outside, from the inside out. Do you see what I'm saying? Otherwise, that split pin is going to catch on that bolt just there, and I don't want that. So I've got this little tiny bolt here, and it's only going one way because it's flattened off on this side of it. This side of the chain, there's a little tiny flattening spot. So let's bring the chain down a little tiny bit, just so I want to pass that bolt, so I can then put this little tiny bolt into there. Oh, I dropped it. Where'd it go? There it is. I'm dropping no bits now, Mick. Is it magnetic? No, it's not. It is. Why is it you always drop the small bits? You never drop the big bits. Huh? Why is that? Law of averages, I suppose. Right, now I can now bring this chain up together. Just a bit fiddly. So I'll try and get that pin into there whilst holding all this together. No easy thing to do, but perfectly doable. So let's just get the pin around the back first. Let's just start it off into that hole there. If I start it off there, then rest it. Once I've got it halfway through, we'll be laughing. Back up just a touch. Oh, it's fiddly. I want a bit more slack, really. That's all on there. perfect. That'd be perfect there. That's why they put the bolt on the other way. So, someone's been in here at some point and they've had a fiddle, and they didn't have the perseverance to put it back where it should go. That's what they've done. But I don't give up as easy as that. All you've got to do is just have that just sneaking through that chain, and then like that, and we've actually got it. So it's got to spin it now, just so it actually will go in. Because I say it will only go in one way. I hope you're getting all this. See where it's caught there, see that won't catch there once that chain's actually in place. Because that bolt is going to go only in one area. So let me get a tiny screwdriver. And it will only go one way, so I've got to now try and spin that little tiny bolt just there. Just what I'm trying to do. Once I spin it, it will go. But you've got to spin it and push it at the same time. So let's get it round to where it needs to be and get a little bit of a spin, and eventually it will just go pop and just lock into place. So it'll only go one way. But this is what takes the time, because it cannot be done. The only way of doing it is to remove a link on the other side and turn the link around, see? And it will go. So let me fiddle about with this. Just got to keep moving it until I find the biting point of it. Once I found the biting point of it, it will just literally fall into place. There it is there, got it. Whilst we're talking, I got it, that, see? Right, that's in. Give that a bit of a squeeze. Perfect. There's a little tiny hole there for me just to put a little tiny split pin in. There it is. Put a split pin in there. I was probably going to get a new one. I'll probably drop the other one. And I'll put the pin in there and I'll come back to you. Yes, Carl, I'm in the video. Right, so I've put the pin in on the back of that there chain. Now I know I should have removed the link and turned that round, and I didn't, and I should have. So we'll do it, but I ain't doing it now because the video will be half hour long. But now if the cylinder now runs, it don't catch anywhere, which it was doing on that bolt just there the other day. So. Well, that's that bit done. So now I've got a couple of bits left. I've got a bolt, some washers, and that's about my lot. So I've got no spare bits. Now we'll try and put the part number to that clutch in the description and comment section for you. So if anyone does want a new clutch, because it has got an upgraded part on it apparently. Now I got mine from a company just down the road from me called Chitterstoke Garden Machinery. So if you want your lawnmower repairs, serviced or fixed, or you want to buy new equipment and you're in West Sussex, check out Chitterstoke Garden Machineries. Let them know that Micks Mowers and Mower Man has sent you, and you will be able to get a massive reduction of nothing. But they do know me in there, so give them a say Micks sent you, and you may get a little cheeky something off, but I doubt you will, because times is hard. Right, I've got to put this little tiny screw in here. Round took back. That's got to sit in there somewhere. And then this bolt here, that's got to sit. Oh, where's that sit? It can't be right, lad. What's that loose there? I might have to do that one first. Typical shroud, so always the hardest bit to put on. Oh, there you go. It's got to go on there. Locate it. Well, that's located, and then we can then come back and fit that one on like that. So we can then do up that one there. Boom. And then a 13mm on that one. Boom. And that's it. Apart from the air filter cover, HT to put back on, we are there. Mission accomplished, but the big question is, do it work? And if it don't work, I should be really, really annoyed, because this part cost me about 100 quid. So hopefully brand new clutch on there. should now get this cylinder to stop running when I don't want it to at low revs, and at high revs it should cut in. So I don't have any more adjustment to be doing on it, but it's a really nice bit of kit, man, and hopefully if it all runs, does what it should do, it should sell for good money come the season. So let's go outside, run it up, see what it do. Right, the old weather is just turned, so we're getting a bit of rain coming in, so I don't want to muck about too long, because otherwise all my stuff's going to get soaking wet. So let's just get a quick little wipe over. Hopefully don't get too wet on the screen, it is lashing down. Looking for the machine to stop start and the cylinder not to cut in. On the choke, HT lead on, bit of throttle, dead man's in. Let's see what happens. Was thinking about it, it's nearly there. I need to get that machine to just rev a little bit lower. There you go. Idling. Not spinning. Look at that. We sussed her. So it does need just to rev just that much lower to enable it to not move. So it will idle. Now when it cut in, there you go, cut in, bring it down a touch. About there. If I can get that machine to idle just a touch lower, got to idle. There you go. Running. So just a bit of fine adjustment on that carburetor now will get that to do exactly what I want it to do. So it's not spinning. It does under pressure there. Okay, so if I now bit of revs. Nearly there, guys. It's there. So when it's on tick over, about to stop. But I do need to just literally to have that machine rev down just a touch more than what it is. I can do it just by adjusting some cables and what have you. So let's get it back indoors. It's absolutely lashed down with rain, but I'm super happy. One Masport clutch now fully working, exactly as it should do. Okay, it's not very nice out there. It's just come over all lashing with rain and horrible. I don't like rain, not really. I don't like getting wet like that. So yeah, I'm well happy with it. It does still do it off and on, but you saw it did do it quite a few times with the machine idling. So what I want to do is just get hold of one of those governor springs on that carby and just give it a little tiny bit of a stretch, just so it allows that butterfly just to go down a bit more. So when it does go to idle, that will stop 100% every time. But it's doing it, but just not doing it every single time. So we're getting a bit closer. But I think what I might do also is give the machine a good run and get that cylinder running, get that clutch spinning, and just allow that new cylinder, that new clutch just to bed in a bit as well, and just take a bit of material off that way. It should do it as well. So yeah, overall, I'm super happy. It's been a bit of labour love, this one. It's been on the bench 2 or 3 times, and hopefully I can get it to do exactly what I want to do just by stretching one of the governor springs on my carby there. Just get a bit of a tweak, just allow that butterfly just to come around a bit more than what it is. So I'll do that, and that'd be good. So there you go, quick little video for you on how to replace the clutch on a Masport 400 Olympic or even the 500, all the same. How to do the clutch just by removing some engine bolts and what have you. I hope this video will have helped you out. If it does, Give us a big thumbs up, hit the old subscribe button and whack the old bell. Set notifications for all, that way you'll be told next time I upload another video. I look forward to the next episode of Micks Mowers very, very soon. The two end guys and girls, much more importantly, take it easy.